What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series, Cassian Andor from Andor Season 2. With Andor Season 2 yet to come out, it's just on the horizon as of the making of this review, we have a new Cassian Andor figure. I've been told that this is a very similar design to what we see in the beginning of Rogue One, so that makes this figure even cooler for me. I'm very excited for Season 2 of Andor, as I have very much enjoyed Season 1, so getting another Cassian is always a great plus. This guy is a mainline release for the Black Series for 2024, meaning you're going to find him at most of your major retailers. I did get mine on a pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store, which I dropped into my pile of loot for a month or two before I shipped this whole wave. So definitely check out Big Bad Toy Store. They have awesome service. I love their pile of loot feature, and I definitely recommend them. So taking a look at the packaging, this is the standard packaging for the Black Series right now. Up at the top, you have your Black Series logo, a nice big plastic window showing you the figure and both of his accessories. You have in vertical text the character's name, as well as that he is number 10 in the Andor subline. In this nice orangish red color, you do have the name of the show, as well as some logos and legalese. Down on the side here, you have the mural art for Cassian, as well as his name at the bottom. I think they did a great job with this artwork. He looks just like Diego Luna. On the back of the box, you have that same mural art that we saw on the side of the box, blown up a bit, as well as the Black Series logo, the character's name, and a bio in about 1,000 different languages. This one reads, Cassian Andor continues the journey that will shape him into a leader of the rebellion. As political tensions grow, he is forced to rise to the occasion and take a stand for everything he believes in. And then again, he's number 10 for the Andor figures. We have all your legalese down here. Please don't feed this action figure to your babies. Another Black Series logo on this side, on the bottom, more legalese, and on the top, nothing. So with that, that's the packaging out the way. Let's get this figure opened and check him out. Alright, here's Cassian out of the box. Before we check him out, we're going to check out the two accessories that he comes with, and he comes with two different blaster pistols. Now, one of these blaster pistols I'm not as familiar with. I don't think we've ever seen this one in the show yet, because this is also not the blaster pistol that Cassian has in Season 1 of the show. It's got some really nice painted details here, as well as some good sculpted detail. I feel like I've seen this blaster before in Star Wars, just not in Cassian's hands, so interested to see where this comes into play in Season 2, if at all. And then of course, we have the blaster we're much more familiar with some awesome paint decos on it. This is part of Cassian's A280C blaster rifle that he has in the Rogue One movie. This is the base version. Obviously, you don't get the other parts that make it the sniper rifle configuration. However, it's nice that they included this blaster with some extra paint details. Looks awesome. And here we have Cassian. So taking a look at the figure right out the gate, let's take a look at his face. It's an okay likeness. I don't think it's exactly Diego Luna, but it gets the point across. I think they've sculpted the hair well enough, and they've painted on the facial hair well enough that you can immediately tell that this is still Cassian Andor, regardless of how well the face looks like the actor. I think they've done a great job with all of the clothing here. For the plain clothes character, this definitely screams Star Wars to me. You got some very subtle paint applications all throughout the jacket here, just little different color hits and things. You have some paint on the belt here, which is a loose overlay. I always appreciate when they do the belts as loose overlays. You got some more sculpted bits here that they did not paint, but overall, again, very, very well done, and I think they've done a great job with this figure. They even painted the buckles down to the boots. It's not a detail that they usually get. Usually they skimp out on the boots, so very, very nice details here. Other than that, though, I mean, it's a pretty plain clothes figure. There's only so much I can show you when it comes to the paint applications and the design. I mean, it's Cassian Andor. It's how we're going to see him in the show, and this is what you can expect. Taking a look at articulation, he has a double ball jointed neck up at the top here with some good range. He can look down quite a bit, and he can look up a little bit as well. He's got some good tilt here, as well as the ability to look right and left. He's got some butterfly joints, which are hidden underneath the kind of loose overlay that makes up part of the jacket here. And these have some crazy awesome range. Look how deeply cut these are made into the front of the body. You can get some insane range out of these, which is awesome. And they can get away with kind of showing off a deeper cut with, you know, kind of removing some of the sculpt of the chest with this overlay here. There's also a hinge and swivel system on the shoulders here. So you do have a 90-degree bend at the shoulder as well as a 360-degree swivel. The elbows are done in a deep cut single jointed joint. So you do have a bend that gets you past the 90-degree mark as well as a swivel at the top of the elbow. Down at the wrists, he's got swivels for those, as well as a vertical hinge at the right wrist with a sculpted trigger finger hand. And at the left wrist, he has a horizontal hinge joint. He's got a ball joint at the waist here, which has some really, really nice range. And he's also got ball joints at the hips, which also are going to give you some very, very nice range. He does not have a cut for a thigh swivel. That is because the newer hip joints that Hasbro has been using also have the ability to bring those hips in and out, similarly to how a thigh swivel would. He has some deep cut single jointed knees here, which are going to get you again past that 90-degree mark. Very, very nice. And then a swivel at the top of the knee there too. He does have boot swivel at the top of the boot here, as well as a forward facing pin for rocker at the ankle. The ankles also have a little hinge, which is going to get you not really any forward due to the sculpted piece at the front, but they've got plenty of back. Overall, this is great articulation, even for 2024 in the Black Series. This is fantastic articulation here, and just for that, I'd say this is a great action figure. Taking a look at the accessories, so one of these does not have any weapon storage, so because technically this holster is for the larger blaster pistol. I guess you could stick this one in there too, and it looks fine, I guess, but this is definitely made for the other blaster pistol, so we'll stick this one in the hand here, see how this fits in. That blaster had a really thick grip to it. It was really hard to actually get that to sit nicely in the hand here, but once it's in, the trigger finger sits very nicely in the trigger guard, and of course you can get some really nice blaster holding poses with this blaster. It looks good, but I'm not going to be using it because I'm going to be using the other blaster. And here is the other blaster, which does have some weapon storage down in here. You can see the top of the blaster kind of hangs down through, and it passes the shake test. It's not going to fall out when it's in the holster, which is awesome. This blaster pistol much more easily is going to fit into Cassian's hand there, which I do appreciate. Also fits really nicely, the trigger finger does, into the trigger guard. And this blaster is going to look great in the hand as well, giving you some nice action poses. You can get Cassian to even have his finger on the trigger while the blaster is in the holster, which that also looks like a great little pose there. And we can of course get Cassian into a really nice, very easy to get into one-legged running pose here, like he's running through maybe an Imperial installation or something of that nature. And for comparison's sake, here is Cassian next to, on the left, we have, this is the Cassian from the Cassian B2 Emo 2-pack, and then on the right, this is the Cassian from the Rogue One kind of reissues that they did, where they did the photoreal updates on the characters. It's funny how different all the faces look on these, but I think honestly, this one might look the most like Diego Luna. But overall, guys, I think this figure is great. Honestly, we've had a lot of Cassian Andors in the line now, but I think this is one of the best designs ever for him, and I think with the great articulation included on this guy too, I think you'll really enjoy this one if you pick it up. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media, all of which is linked in the description below. That's going to be all for this review, guys. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.